The Father instructs us to respond to my Spirit rather than reacting to the situation that we are in today. Please allow me to guide you through the minefield that the adversary has placed in your path. When you are not in the presence of your critics, you will avoid them, and the fiery darts and javelins that they launch at you will not hit their target. It is not necessary for you to be concerned or anxious about the conflict between tongues, because I will conceal you within my pavilion and protect you from all of the expectations and plans that the wicked one has for you. Due to the fact that I am your guardian, you will not even experience the reduction of a single hair on your head. When you come to me, you will find that I am the sturdy tower that will save you. Even though there may be thousands of people who have failed and fallen, you, my dear, are the one I am working with to accomplish both my will and to achieve what is in my best interest. For the sake of protecting you from the sour root judgments that the adversary would try to infect you with, I have placed my seal upon your heart. According to the Father, forgive. Forgive even those who cannot be forgiven. Instead of relying on your own might, put your faith in my grace. Please accept my grace at this moment. I grant you the grace to give up the right to be vindicated. It is I who will vindicate you. In every case, the truth will outlive the falsehood. My hand will bring about restoration, and the current distress that you are experiencing will be nothing more than a footnote to the testimony of victory and blessing that this season has in store for you in your life. It is the Father who asks, "Do you trust me?" It is then that you should remove your hands from the situation, and those things that you are unable to alter, mend, or repair will be dealt with by my skilled hands. The Father has revealed to you today that it is within your power to shorten the passage of time and bring about your emergence. It is not the devil who is causing the disruption. It has been 2,000 years since his power was destroyed, and he does not possess the power from the throne to stand and confront you. When you reply to the ideas that your adversary makes, you are providing him with the sole source of power that he can use. When you are dealing with the enemy, you are dealing with a made entity that has a limited capacity to resist and the power to make your life more difficult. You are now connected to the resources of the kingdom that was responsible for the formation of the universe and the launching of planets into space. On the other hand, your adversary is restricted in their actions. When you pay attention to what the opponent is doing and what you believe he is planning to do, you are able to determine the level of power that the enemy possesses in your life. I have given you the ability to tread over all of the power that the enemy possesses anytime he lifts his head out of the depths to make hardship for you. This is not necessary, darling, since I have given you the ability to do so. Continue your pursuit of the kingdom, and do not allow yourself to get sidetracked by the adversary. Do not waste your time listening to what the adversary has to say, since what I am saying is superior to everything that Satan can think up. Pay no attention to the people who are transmitting the enemy's message. These individuals are blind leaders of blind people who are completely enamored with the sound of their own voice. They take great pleasure in disparaging and attacking you, but only after they have demonstrated that they have penetrated your very being and diverted your attention away from my throne. Focus your attention on me, and you will be able to break through the pressure that is present in your life. You will be able to break through into my thought, my satisfaction, my righteousness, and my joy. Have delight and count it all joy that you are confronted with abuse and lies and other challenges of this nature, because it indicates that you have made a threat to the kingdom of darkness and have become plainly children of your Father in heaven. This same spot is where I am standing, says the Father. Reach out and feel the sinews of my powerful right arm, which is held out in front of you right now in order to defend you. Your victory is certain, says the Father. Therefore, permit your obedience and perseverance to pierce the assault of the adversary and establish you as unmovable in my presence and in my reign. Today, the Father encourages you to make it your determination to avoid putting yourself in a circumstance that I would not find to be satisfactory. As you put yourself in situations where my presence is respected rather than grieved, the fruit of the Spirit will begin to develop in your life. It is not true that there are no consequences simply because other people make allowances for themselves that offer individuals the opportunity to indulge their lusts. Others might be able to, but you are unable to. When you look at other people, you can think to yourself, look at what they are getting away with. However, the high call has not been communicated to them. They have been contacted, but they have not been selected. They were selected, but they did not remain faithful, so I let them to make their own decisions until they came to the conclusion that the things of the world are not a suitable replacement for what I am providing for them. Therefore, I invite you to enter into my joy today and to let go of the delusion of lusting after the routines and pursuits of others who are unfamiliar with me and who have not committed to me the same things that you have pledged to me. I have the ability to keep you. It is my intention to lead you to a more profound level of trust and faithfulness. Because you requested more, there is more accessible to you. You should allow me to have a higher degree of access to the interior region of your life. Neither you nor your degree of dedication should ever be compared to that of individuals who are in your immediate vicinity. No, I have not asked you to be typical or typical in any way. To be completely and utterly mine is what I have named you. Please ascend to a higher level, says the Father. The husks and pigs' troughs of worldly and unproductive goods should not be given any thought, nor should you give in to the lure of these things. I am with you. Here I am, your reward. I am waiting for you to surrender yourself to me in a manner that is more extreme than anything you have ever done before. God says today that my eye searches throughout the earth to show my arm mighty in behalf of my beloved. My purpose in your life in this season is to bear my arm and deliver you from the many waters of adversity that would overflow you. I will flex my muscle in your life, and in flexing my sinews in your life, I will burst the bonds and break the bands that have sought to constrict you and bring you to ruin, says the Father. I am the God who can do anything I want, anytime I want, and I do not have to check with anyone. Even in this I have chosen to covenantally bind myself to establish you in benefit and blessing. My mind, says the Father, wraps itself around the affairs of your life and is governed by the desire that you prosper, that you be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Will I purpose a thing, says the Father, and it not come to pass in your life? Poverty will not rule you. Will poverty rule you when I said in my word that I became poor so that you can be rich? Making myself poor in your behalf was no less a miracle than lifting you out of want and lack and bringing blessing and provision. Will sickness destroy you when I said, by the stripes of my Son you are healed? The efficacy of the blood of Calvary flows down into your life, flows down into the very pores of your body. It flows into the very recesses of your mind, the very depths of your spirit. It reaches out into your past, it establishes your present, and is assuring your future. Fear not those things that are on the morrow, says the Father, for I am on the morrow awaiting your arrival with provisions that you know not of. When tomorrow's challenge comes, there will be a supply from the inventories of my glory. I will supply all your needs. I will supply all that is necessary to fulfill your destiny, and your destiny is not one of diminishment, your destiny is not one of loss, but it is one that leads you into the manifestation of being seated with me in heavenly places far above all principalities and power, says the Father. The Father says today that my favor is available to you this day as a resource. There are deposits and reservoirs of gifts that I have been storing up for you, and it is time for the release of my indulgence in your life. No longer will there be a delay. You have been waiting and expecting, but the postponing is over, for I declare over you that this is your now time to see these things come to pass. You are going to start seeing answers, and you need to take notes and write down as a remembrance the good things that I am bringing to you in this season. As Saul's crippled son Mephibosheth, I am carrying you daily to my table. My table is a table you are being carried to daily to partake of all the good things necessary for your benefit and your blessing. This is going to be an everyday occurrence. You have seen the sprinkling of blessing from time to time. You have seen my blessing come like a trickle in a dry season. Now is the time that the fountains of the deep are being broken up under your feet and the heavens are being opened. On the 18th of the month you will have a watershed experience that will cause you to know and cause you to rejoice in the goodness and glory of all that I have promised to you. My goodness is coming. This is the place of favor that I have prepared for you. Come and stand by me. Let me cover you with my pinions. Let me surround you with my feathers. Let me hide you in the place of the rock that's hollowed out for you, because I am that rock, your rock of defense in a time of storm. I want you to rest in me and watch and partake and enjoy my goodness poured out to you now. The Father says today the tide is turning. Begin afresh and anew to listen to my voice. I am going to speak to you. I will speak once, yes twice, in a dream, in a vision of the night. I am going to have a conclave with you, a conference with you in the night about your future and your destiny. I am going to give you very specific instructions to follow to the letter, and it will not be ambiguous. I will direct you when to pick up the phone, make the calls, write the checks, and do the things I tell you to do. I am initiating some rearranging in your life, says the Father, to bring about change and shift that you have desired, expected, and prayed for. As you obey, it's going to bring breakthrough. Know this, that some things I will instruct you to do won't make sense to the natural mind, because I am calling upon you to work smarter and not just work harder. I'm going to give you the wisdom to do things that you have already been doing in a new way, and the results will be almost immediate. I am mending those things that are broken. I am mending the broken things in your life that have been non-functioning, bringing exasperation, and I am turning things around and bringing a blessing, and it's going to bring peace in your heart, and you're going to be sleeping better and resting in my anointed process that is now being revealed in your life, says the Father. I say to you that the tide is turning, the tide is turning. I want you to know it's seriously tide turning time. You have cast your bread upon the water, as the scripture says, and now look up, for it is returning to you in increase and abundance. Yes, there will be other things dredged up in those currents, but deal with each distraction as it comes and keep pace with the flow of instruction and wisdom that is now lifting you up, buoying you up to a new place of rest, prosperity, and increase, for this is your portion, and it will not be denied you as you align yourself with that which I am doing and bringing about even this day. The Father says today, I am declaring a mending of that which is broken in your life. Broken relationships are being healed. Relationships that have been broken to the point of total and complete exasperation will be repaired, says the Father. Though you have struggled to the point of just walking away, I am going to mend. I am going to step into the situation without any extra effort on your part. In fact, the Father says, take your hands off. You must put your faith in me. I am going to mend that which is broken. I am going to bring love where there's been animosity. I am going to bring agreement where there's been disagreement. I am going to bring harmony where there's been disharmony. I am going to turn things around. I am going to alter the spiritual geography under your feet. The Father says, I am even going to turn the spiritual geography, the spiritual map under their feet, where they are going to be moving toward you for the same reason they were moving away from you. I will cause even your detractors to see God in you, and they are going to seek you, and in seeking you they are going to be seeking me, and when they come and sit at your feet, says the Father, you are going to open your mouth and the words of the kingdom are going to come out. It's not going to be words of resentment, words of, I told you so, but rather my love, my forgiveness, the oil of mending, and the outpouring of my Spirit. In the midst of the process, I am going to break off of you those things the enemy has installed in your life to trip you up and to keep you stressed out. Yes, I am going to mend you in those areas as well. It's a new day and new time, and your rejoicing will be great as you see that which I am bringing about in your life. Be a person who follows my word, the Father says to you today. As soon as you are willing to give yourself over to my word, it will determine the course of your life. There are streams of information and narratives all around you, all of which are attempting to direct and control the decisions that you make. At the expense of my name, I honor my word. It is holy ground for you to have your mind and your thoughts. Do not allow anything that does not originate from my throne to contaminate either your conscious or unconscious mind or heart. In the event that you give in to the narrative, it will lead you to its temple and force you to come and worship there. Turn your back on the story that the world tells. It is important to reject the narrative that man is solely interested in selling you and bringing you into servitude to something that does not produce life. When you carry my word within your heart, it serves as a weapon against every attack that the adversary makes. We must now lock and load our vehicles. Now is the time to remove the safeguards that have been placed on my word within your heart and to use the power of my anointed word to combat the adversary who is attempting to pollute you. If you are able to keep your mind and heart safe, you will be able to observe the tree of life that is located within you beginning to blossom and produce the fruit that you have been anticipating for a very long time. You cannot expect virtue to emerge and embellish your situation if you plant your roots in water that is both bitter and delicious. The more you discipline yourself with regard to what you will and will not let to take up home in your mind, heart, and affections, the more my glory will become evident and will be seen in your life in a greater proportion. Please ascend to a higher level, says the Father. Make a conscious effort to rise above the complacency of being a sheep that is being led to slaughter and seize control of your life via the authority of my word and the force of my authority. After a lengthy period of waiting and patience, you will observe that your borders are expanding, and you will also observe that the seeds that you plant are beginning to produce fruit. I am with you, says the Father, and in the keeping of my truth, the purity of my spirit, and the sanctity of my word in your life, you will witness the suffering of your soul and be content with it. In today's message, the Father encourages us to have faith that the best will come to us and make its presence known in our lives. What are you going to believe is the greatest challenge that life presents to you? Are you going to take anything that the situation has to say seriously? I can't believe how much time I've wasted. The Father advises that the things that are seen are temporary and subject to change. Instead, you should focus on the things that are eternal. Those things that are natural and temporal are subject to the control and supervision of that which is eternal. Wherever your focus takes you, you are that place. If you were to give your attention to what a man wants you to look at, think about, and accept as fact, why would you do that? The Father has warned you that this is not your portion. Something that is pure, perfect, lovely, and of excellent report is what I want you to think about. I want you to think about it. How come? Because I want you to give the impression that there are no problems. No, the Father continues, that is not the case. Because the advantage and gift that I am now bringing into your life is familiar to you, I want you to concentrate on things that are good and positive. I want you to do this because I want you to remember them. I don't want you to be taken aback by the goodness that I have to offer. I want you to concentrate on the good news because the things that are going to begin to materialize in your life are determined by your focus, which is the meditation of your heart. According to the Father, the character, quality, and nature of what is about to occur in your life are determined by what is abundantly present in your heart. This is true regardless of how you choose to construe the situation. Did I not mention that the way you think in your heart must be reflected in the way you live your life? Having received my permission, my dear, you are now able to truly obtain it and install that understanding within your heart. In this way, my technique will revolutionize not just your life but also your relationships, your supply, and everything else it touches. Your life will become a tiny bit of heaven to go to heaven in as you allow me to cleanse and empower your mind. Therefore, your life will become a small bit of heaven. Where do you stand? Okay, then, let's get started with this. In today's message, the Father assures us that your prayers are never disregarded. They are arranged into categories, digitized, and kept in the archives of heaven, where they are anticipated to receive the response that was promised. Your supplications are given the same significance as the blood of the cross that was shed in order to guarantee that they are accepted and heard. When it comes to determining whether or not you will be granted a hearing, there are no editors in heaven. Every single word, every single breath, and every single thought that enters to your mind and heart is acknowledged and reacted to as if they were the actual thoughts and words that Jesus came up with. According to the Father, you are not being forgotten. You will not be forgotten about. You are not an inconsequential person. Despite the fact that the entire world would not have required a Savior, I would have sent the best of heaven to you in order to rescue you from the various waters of tribulation and place you in a position of blessing. No longer will I give in to the deceptions of my adversary. A person who feels abandoned or set at naught will no longer fall into the melancholy that they have experienced. What I have done is make you the focus of my attention. I have taken into consideration your requirement in the period that was specified, and I have sent a response. In all the affairs of men multiplied by every life lived out on earth, you still have my total and undivided attention. Please do not be concerned about anything else. Realize that you are loved by us. Realize that you are being looked after. Aware of the fact that I will provide grace and strength onto you in order to assist and deliver you at the proper time. I am never a tardy guy. I never find myself lacking in resources. When it comes to your circumstance, I am prepared to bless and benefit you, as well as to make myself known to you. Be sure that my goodness will be observed. You can look forward to receiving my loving kindness as your portion. In the event that you align yourself with my heart and my thoughts, the Father promises that you will not be disappointed in anything. Today, the Father encourages you to be a maker of the environment in which you and those around you continue to live. I instructed my followers to take their peace along with them wherever they went and wherever they ministered, and to leave their peace in the locations where they traveled. Everyone who walks with me is a master and commander of the area they find themselves in on a daily basis, regardless of the surrounding circumstances. Your life has a component that is dedicated to ministry, says the Father. You now have jurisdiction over this matter. Make a statement about your soul that goes something like this: the pressure of God on the inside of me flowing out is greater than the pressure of the enemy trying to get in from the outside. To act in a manner that is contrary to this is to allow the Father to get infected with the spirit of the world. You are perpetually subject to the impact of a spiritual force. I want the impact that you respond to and the influence that you exude to be the influence of my grace. My power is my upbeat attitude. I am useful to you. I adore you. You should allow my love to be the spiritual soup that other people pour into their lives when they are in your presence. People who are famished and emaciated need just one ray of hope in their lives, and you may be that one light of hope by being a spiritual soup kitchen in their lives. In this way, you are who you are. I have summoned you to this particular location. It is the Father who claims that you are both a master and a commander. Both a principality and a power are within you. It is not the way that you have been told, and it is not the way that people who have a religious mindset think. Because the adversary wants people to believe that his strength stems from some authority that I have bestowed upon him. The opposite of the truth is not even remotely possible. What a thief he is! A shoplifter is what he is. The authority that was bestowed upon Adam and Eve upon their arrival in the garden was the first thing that Satan stole away from them. As a result of Christ, what was lost in the fall is now restored. By virtue of the efficacy of the blood of Christ and the authority of my word in the earth, I declare to you that you are a demon master and that you are the ruler of your own harvest. Those who force their way into your life with consternation, panic, anxiety, and worry should be faced with the refusal to give up control of your life. Raise yourself up from the depths of your being and transform into the person whom I have divinely appointed. Your adversary does not want you to realize how much more capable, powerful, and great you are than you actually are. You, my lover, are you. When it comes to favor, I have you in mind. Since I am a winner, it follows that you are also a winner. As a result of the fact that I am not a loser and that I am present within you, you are not a defeatist. I am displaying and according to you to rise up in and walk out in the earth even today, says the Father. The triumph, power, and authority that you have seen others walk in is simply the slightest inkling of what I am demonstrating and according to you. In today's message, the Father affirms that the thoughts of your heart are the most accurate forecasters of what will occur in the future. Take a stand against pessimism. The presence of affliction in your life is sanctioned by negative thoughts about yourself or others. Pessimism has no place in the kingdom, it is not tolerated there. Sarcasm has no place in the kingdom, it is not tolerated there. You will give the enemy control of your life if you allow yourself to be influenced by the negative aspects of your existence. Stop giving the energy of your position to the habitual skepticism and disagreeable tendencies that cause all of your faith to flow out of your feet and leave you inactive and grounded in the stuck place. Refuse to give the energy of your situation to these tendencies. I am the God of an optimistic outlook. I have a positive attitude. It is I who am a God of concord. For the purpose of enabling you to rise above the circumstances and walk into the realization of my promises, I created agreement and infused it into your character. The things that you focus your attention on are the things that define you and the things that lock you up. Because you are focusing your attention on me, you will be characterized by who I am and what I am conducting. The Father thinks that it is time to take a radical approach. For such a long time, those who are blind have been leading those who are blind, and anyone who gets out of the ditch is deemed revolutionary. Are you ready to push yourself to the limits that I have planned for you to go through in your life? There is nothing tepid or lukewarm about my nature, and as a result, there is no room in your life for timidity or aspirations that are as soft as milk. Taking you beyond yourself is what I am doing. I have molded you into a person who is willing to take risks and will walk on water. Everything else is the process by which the adversary manipulates natural conditions in order to prevent you from attaining the lofty spot. What the Father says is, "Come unto me." Anticipate overwhelming favor. Expect extraordinary outcomes in terms of the prayers that are answered. As a result of who I am and the things that I have planned to do on your behalf, the difficulties that have persisted for a long time and have become a part of the landscape of your existence are going to be buried deeper. Talk about your beliefs. Break free of your hope. For the purpose of establishing in you a testimony that represents the price I paid on Calvary in your behalf, I am working from the template that I am using to establish that testimony. Expect to be lavish and abundant. According to what the Father has revealed to me today, I am releasing you from the oughts and nots of religious legalism. You will only experience genuine change in your life as you draw closer to my glory. Change in your life does not come about. The blood of the cross is not some kind of remedy for changing your acts, rather, it is the touchstone for transforming who you are as a person. Do not allow yourself to be sidetracked by your bad performance, moral failings, or spiritual inadequacies on this particular day. Attend to the presence of I, make your way into my presence. Reign supreme over yourself. I have made it possible for you to gain access to my nature because as you worship something better than yourself, you will undergo a transformation that will last a lifetime. I have encoded my picture into the new birth, and this is the image that I have there. There is no way that you will ever alter what you do unless you first change the way that you think about who you are. In order to embrace this day, adopt the mindset of someone who is my adored. Although it might not be the person you see when you look in the mirror, and it most certainly won't be how men perceive you, you should strive to be a Father-pleasing person and keep in mind the opportunities that Calvary's sacrifice has provided for you. Allow yourself to be transformed by who I am. Allow my presence to reverberate so strongly within you that you are able to rise above the whims of the corrupt human nature and enter the pristine atmosphere of my spirit, where my nature and character are brought to life within you. You have heard this before, and now I am passing this way once more in order to pull you out of the pit of despair and onto the route that eventually leads to success. In the words of the Father, I have a goal in mind. It is through focusing on me that you will become like me. Have faith in me. Walk alongside me. Make yourself available to me. By virtue of the power that my Spirit possesses inside you, you will emerge from this experience clean and transformed.